I'm gonna record now. Hi, Luis. Okay, and we're recording. How are you guys doing? Luis, doing all right? Good. All right, we are gonna go ahead and log in here. So we are at the end of Unit 2, which I'm excited about. We get to start Unit 3 next week. So today what we're going to do is work through our last pages of Unit 2, which will be kind of a review of what we looked at before. And then if we have time, we're going to read a Newsella news article about poems that have been written during the coronavirus pandemic. And if we have a lot of time, we'll write a poem all together. So I'm really excited for today, okay? All right, so we are going to go through this here. I want to make sure that everybody can read these, okay? So, Ada, can you read the first three here, A, B, and C?
Okay. Personal receptionist.
Personnel receptionist. Good.
Personal receptionist.
Good.
Owner.
Owner.
Salesman.
Salesman. Good. Perfect. Okay. Oops. Leonella, you got perfect. Would you mind to read D, E, and F?
The customer and F, factory workers.
So F, factory workers, good. And what's E?
Designer.
Designer, good. And then Luis, can you read this one right here?
Supervisor.
Good, supervisor. So let's look at this picture here. What are these guys making?
Maybe paper toilet.
Making paper, toilet paper?
Toilet paper.
Oh, I don't think so. What are these things right here on this belt?
Lamps.
Lamps, good. So it looks like they're at a lamp factory.
Oh, yeah.
Right, that's kind of odd. So we have someone who owns it, someone who sells the lamps. We have a customer, maybe that's a guy who like owns a lamp store. He's got to buy it straight from the source, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our personnel receptionist, she deals with all these factory workers. What do you think this designer does?
Design the models, I don't know.
Yeah, she designs the lamps. She's like, will it be blue? Will it be yellow? Right? The possibilities are endless. And then what does it look like the supervisor is doing?
Check the production.
Right? Checking production, making sure, are these lamps all good before we send them out, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at this guy down here. Do you think he's a supervisor or a factory worker?
I think he's a driver.
He's a driver?
Maybe.
I think maybe this guy would be a driver, right?
Oh, okay.
What about this guy right here? So he's got his little clipboard. He seems to be kind of counting stuff as it goes out. Huh?
Factory worker.
Is he a factory worker or is he more of a supervisor?
He's like a supervisor or inspector.
Right, I'd say he's a supervisor. He seems to be inspecting things. He seems to be counting things as they leave in that truck, right? So I'd say he's more of a supervisor. Okay, I just want you guys to look at that clipboard right there. Anybody that counts or double checks your work, they're usually a supervisor. All right, so let's look at this picture and we're going to decide who is saying what, right? So let's look at number 1 together. Luis, would you read number 1?
Okay. If alarm is not right, it won't pass my inspection.
Right. If this lamp is not right, it won't pass my inspection. Who is saying that?
Supervisor.
Supervisor.
The supervisor, right? He's like, I am in control of which lamps leave, right? So let's look at number 2. Leonella, would you mind to read that one?
I'm going to draw one more lamp and then it's lunchtime.
Right. I'm going to draw one more lamp. Who do you think up here is drawing the lamps?
The designer.
The designer.
The designer, right? Perfect. Okay. Number 3, Ada, will you read?
Mm-hmm. I think we will assemble 200 lamps today.
We will assemble 200 lamps today. Who do you think that is?
Factory workers.
Factory workers.
Factory workers, right? They're the ones putting the lamps together. Number 4, I'm going to think about this chart. I'll get back to you tomorrow. Who's looking at a chart up here?
Can you scroll down a little bit?
That's a good idea, huh?
Yeah.
Right? So who is looking at a chart?
The salesman.
Maybe the
Right, the
customer?
salesman and the owner. The salesman and the owner, right? So who do you think is saying, I'm going to think about this chart. I'll get back to you tomorrow.
The owner.
Owner.
Right, the owner. He's the only one that really has the authority to say, we'll talk about this later, right? So the owner right here. All right, I'm gonna zoom back out so it's a little bit easier. I feel like I'm making you guys sick by like scrolling so fast. Okay. You can see from this pie chart, we'll do very well this year. We'll probably do very well this year. So you can see from this pie chart that we'll probably do very well this year.
Salesman?
A salesman, right? So we zoomed right in here. Which one of these is a pie chart? The one that's a circle or the one that's a bunch of rectangles?
The one with a circle.
The circle, right? It looks like a pie. Pretty easy. And then our final one here. Leonilla, would you mind to read this one right here?
Excuse me, give me just one moment, please.
The owner will be with you in just one moment.
The owner will be with you in just one moment. Who do you think that is?
A customer.
Is that a customer?
I think so. Yeah.
Right. Would you say that to a
The owner
customer
will be
or the
with
customer
you in
saying it?
The owner will be just maybe the customer or the salesman, maybe.
So who is in charge of greeting people when they come into a business? Who's in charge of that?
Salesman.
The salesman, you think?
The receptionist.
The receptionist. Perfect.
Okay.
So are you guys familiar with the word secretary?
Yeah.
A receptionist and a secretary are similar. They're very close to the same thing.
Okay.
Usually, so like when you receive people, when people come in to visit, it's called a reception, right? So does that kind of make good sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are we feeling okay about this? Thinking about, okay, we understand a little bit about what people can do from their titles, like what their general job is based on their title. Are you guys feeling kind of confident with that in this setting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then we're going to move on down here. And do you guys want to practice this piece with the plan, promise, and prediction?
Okay, cool.
What do you guys think? Do you want to practice that, or do you want to move on to the next page and write poems later?
Maybe later.
Okay. All right, we'll move on then. Luis is the only one that gets to vote. Okay. And we are going to move through that, and we're going to start here listening and reading about Juanita and Anna. Okay? So I am going to read it first, and then what we'll do is take turns with everyone else reading it. I see that Ari and Rosalie have joined us, so you guys will be able to read through some of those sentences as well, okay? Ari, you look like you're somewhere beautiful outside. Or you're still in Thailand, and now you're rubbing it in, huh? I don't think she can unmute, but that's okay, right? Someday we'll be at the beach too, guys. Okay, all right. So Juanita and Anna are friends. They want to go out together this weekend. Juanita wants to go to an amusement park. Tickets are expensive, but they can have fun there all day. Anna doesn't have much money. She would rather stay home and watch TV during the day and go dancing in the evening. They want to spend the day together, but they can't agree about what to do. Okay? So we're going to have everybody read again. Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry. Otto, would you mind to start reading if you would read the first sentence?
Okay. Juanita and Anna are friends. They want to go out together this week.
Perfect. Okay, Luis, you're next.
Juanita wants to go to an amusement park.
Perfect. An amusement park.
Amusement park. Okay.
Perfect. Ari, would you read next?
Tickets are expensive, but they can have fun there all day.
Good.
Anna
Rosalie?
doesn't have much.
That's okay. Rosalie, would you mind to start? Anna doesn't have?
Anna doesn't have much money.
Perfect. Okay, and Leonella, if you wouldn't mind reading?
She would rather stay home and watch TV during the day and go dancing in the evening.
Right, she would rather stay home and watch TV. Like, why would we go to the amusement park? That costs money. Okay. And then we're back up here with Otto. Would you mind to read this last sentence?
Okay. They want to spend the day together, but they can't agree about what to do.
Perfect. All right. So what is their problem?
They can't decide what to do.
Right? They can't figure out what they're going to do. There's so many options. So what are 2 or 3 solutions to their problems? What are some solutions?
One solution
Stay
is
home, watch TV.
Right? It's easy. We don't even spend money. That's the only option. Right? I mean, you know, do they have to go to the amusement park or stay home? Could they go to the park where it's free?
Exactly.
The regular park, right?
Exactly.
And then they could still go dancing because they haven't even spent money.
Exactly.
Right? What's another solution to their problem? They could go to the park. That's one.
They can go swimming.
They can go swimming.
In the public pool.
Yeah, or even go down to the river. It's very free there, right?
Or walk in the
Greenway.
mountain, on the freeway, on the mountains.
Yeah, exactly. They could take a hike, take a walk.
Exactly.
Ari, what about you? Can you think of another solution for them?
Listen music in the Anna's house.
Right, listen to some music, do something cool like that, right?
Yeah.
So what are some advantages and disadvantages of the solutions we brought up, right? So we talked about going on a walk, we talked about going to the park, we talked about going swimming. What are some advantages and disadvantages for each of those solutions?
Advantage is free.
Yeah.
Advantage is free, yes.
And it's healthy activity.
Yeah. And disadvantage is depend of the weather of in that day.
Yes, what if it's raining?
Yeah.
Right? All of those things we suggested are outside. Right?
Raining or cool or winter.
Yeah. What about Ari, Rosalie, or Leonella? What's an advantage or a disadvantage for each of those solutions?
Maybe if they stay home, the movie will be boring. It will be a boring time.
Yeah, but we know that we'll have fun at the amusement park, right? That's a good point.
Yeah.
What about you, Leonella or Ari? Anything to add? That's okay, no problem. All right, so let's look down here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna write a note. So, dear Juanita and Anna. All right, so who are we talking to right now?
Anita and Anna.
Johnny
Juanita and
and
Anna,
Anna.
right? Our friends that don't know what they're going to do today. Right? Leonella, what does this say right here?
Here's something you can try.
Right? Here's something you could try.
Can try.
Okay? And Ari, what should go next?
Uh,
Going to the swimming or
Right?
you,
Here's something you can try. You can go swimming. What else? You can go
Hiking.
hiking. Good. Anything else?
You can go to the park, just to the park, see people.
So at the park, what can they do?
Watch people walking.
watch
Watch people. What else?
Take pictures. I do a lot.
Go
enjoy the natural
enjoy the nature.
the
Good.
natural.
jogging,
Or what?
jogging.
Jogging or go jogging. That's a great idea. Lose some weight, y'all. Okay. I hope this helps you. And then what should we say? Sincerely, what?
Your friend.
Your friends
Helper.
from English class, right?
Helper friend. Helper friend.
Your helpful friends, right? Let's say that. Your helpful friends. Okay? Does that seem like a good letter?
Yeah.
All right. Who would like to read this letter just to make sure that it's proofed?
I can read.
I think Ari said she wants to read, or?
I can do.
Yeah.
Okay, whoever wants to read, go ahead and start.
Okay. Dear Juanita and Anna, here is something you can try. You can go swimming, you can go hiking, or you can go to the park. At the park, you can watch people, enjoy the nature, or go jogging. I hope to help you. I hope to help you.
Good.
Sincerely, your helpful friend from English class.
Perfect. All right, I think we got it, guys. Let's go ahead and close that up. And I think we're at the end of our page. Okay. Let me just make sure. Yep, we did it. Okay. So we have about, I think, 20 minutes left as long as we don't get kicked off early. So what I would like to do is go ahead and read this article. Okay.
Okay.
So this is from Newsella. It's a really cool website that is meant specifically for English learners. Okay. But it provides a lot of good news. So let's go ahead and just decide our rotation for reading right now. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll each read 2 sentences, and then it will go to the next person.
Okay.
Okay. So Ada is first, then
Okay.
Luis, Ari, Rosalie, and Leonella. Then we're back to Ada. Okay?
Okay.
Sound good?
Sounds good.
Perfect. Okay. So what we're going to be reading is called New Anthology collects dozens of poems about the pandemic. Okay? Anthology. So this picture right here, this is about a poet. This is a picture of a poet. And she wrote a poem about the coronavirus pandemic that's included among 80 in this anthology. Together in a Sudden Strangeness is the name of her poem. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, Ada, can you see this very well?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Go ahead and start reading.
Okay. With the coronavirus spreading in March, poet Ada Lemon, that's me, struggled at first to write. She said,
Right.
to write.
Good.
She said she was feeling flattened and silenced by a pandemic that had shut down much of the world she knew.
Good. Okay, Luis?
I could call nothing to me. I would think of a sound, a word, a subject, and it was all failing. She told the Associated Press in the recent email, I will look at my own poems and think that even their subject that I was tied to still felt distant to me.
Perfect. Okay. Ari, could you read this right here? Oops. Ari, I can't hear you. Let's see.
Sorry.
No, sorry. That's
I will try again. When she was finally, you hear me?
I can.
When she was finally inspired in April, she summoned a kind of anti-poem. At least of what she left was no longer within reach.
Right. When she
And-
was. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so I began the poem. Enough of us, how to
Osius.
Osius and chickadee and sunflower. She said,
Perfect.
Osius,
Oh, Rosalie.
Osius.
Sorry, Rosalie's next.
Okay.
Osseous refers to something bony or made of bone. Chickadee is a kind of bird, and sunflower is a type of flower. These are subjects that once interested Lemon.
Good.
She
Okay.
said,
Oh, sorry. Leonella, would you mind to read?
Yeah. She said that the least free to write again. I didn't know what it was going to, but it a great relief to leave things that I could not longer accept.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what she wrote her poem about. Okay. Hey guys, sorry, if you have somebody talking in the background, would you mind to mute your computer? It's just a little hard to hear each other, okay? Sorry about that. All right, so we have her here, and what did she write her poem about? What did she do? What did she write down? So let's look at this again, okay? She wrote an anti-poem, a list of what she felt was no longer in reach. Okay, so what did she write her poem about?
The thing that you can't do anymore because the virus.
Exactly. All these things that she wants to do, but there's a daggone virus and she can't leave her house, right? There you go. You guys got it. Okay, let's start back here. I think it is Ada's turn.
Yeah. She ended the poem with a cry. I am asking you to touch me and call it the end of the poetry.
Good. And then
Do
here.
you want me to continue? Okay.
Yep, just 2 sentences.
Okay. Lemon poem is among more than 80 poems included in a new anthology called Together in a Southern Strangeness.
Good.
It is coming in ebook and audio formats June 9th from Alfred Egg Knopf,
Yeah, not.
publishing and as hardcover in November.
Perfect. Okay, and Luis, if you start here.
The book was put together by former Now and New Yorker magazine poetry editor Alice Quinn. It includes contributions from Carl Phillips, Evan Shockley, Joseph Comuyago, no sé qué,
Yeah.
and Grace.
Muñeca.
And,
Sorry.
say it again.
I'd say it's Comunyaka.
Comunyaka and Grace Schurman,
Good.
among others.
Good. Okay, perfect. So let's look here at this word contributions. Contributions. What do you guys think contributions mean? What does it mean to contribute?
Mm,
I mean, somebody else
Bring
helped
something
to
help.
put the book together.
Exactly. A bunch
so,
of people contributed to put the book together, right? So we could all contribute to dinner together. We could all bring something to dinner, right?
okay.
You could contribute to a charity. You could give money to a charity, right? So anytime you're kind of giving something, you can call it a contribution,
Okay.
okay? In this piece, she's giving her poetry to a book, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, and then who is reading next? Is it Ari?
Ari. Yeah.
Yes.
Ari, your turn. Oops, let me get
Oh, yeah.
right here, please.
The book's title comes from Pablo Neruda's
Good.
poem, Keeping Quiet, which includes the lines, "We would all be together in a sudden strangeness." Those lines capture what I feel like for many who have been sheltering in place.
Good, perfect. Okay, so Pablo Neruda, he's actually one of my favorite poets. He's from, I think, Latin America, definitely. Maybe Mexico?
I
Does
think so.
anyone know? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's a really cool guy. And he wrote this poem, and it includes the lines, "We would all be together in a sudden strangeness." We would all be together in a sudden strangeness. So these poems are about the coronavirus, right? And the pandemic. So what is the sudden strangeness that they're talking about?
All of these. All
All of
the
it,
people dying, all the restriction,
right?
know,
This like new
all
normal.
exactly.
Exactly, right? So when they say those lines capture what it feels like for many who have been sheltering in place, what does that mean? Those lines capture what it feels like for many who have been sheltering in place.
The line say exactly what those everybody's feeling, especially the people sheltering in the place.
Exactly, right? So those lines, this sudden strangeness, it's something that we all have in common. It captures what it feels like for a lot of us, that this is a very sudden and very strange situation, right? Okay. Rosalie,
Yes.
will you mind to read right here all the way down to here, please?
Poets have always been those we turn to as witness.
Witnesses.
Queen said, witnesses.
Good.
Queen said, poets can clarify a moment like this. She said, an immediate medium novelists will likely take months and years to fully absorb the pandemic into their work. But poetry is more immediate, allowing for creation in the heat of a historical moment.
Good. Okay. And Leonella, would you mind to read here to, oops, sorry. Here to here, please.
Lymon's The End of Poetry was published in April in the New York Magazine. The work was already being widely circulated online.
Circulated.
Circulated online.
Perfect.
It was gotten praise from such peers as the poet Brenda Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy.
Shaughnessy,
Good.
who said on Twitter, "I can hardly believe it's real. It's so right."
Okay. So why are poems a better way for people to express their feelings about the coronavirus? Why are poems better than novels?
Because it's a very short sentences, very short and capture the moment.
Right? You can write it a lot faster.
Yeah.
It's a very immediate form of expression, right? So maybe in 6 years, we'll see people that write novels about coronavirus.
Yeah.
But right now, we have poets who write maybe 100 words and they say, this is enough to express what we're going through, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What does this word circulated mean? What does that word mean? Circulated.
I mean, it have been sold, it have been used in this case, it have been rated.
Exactly. In terms of newspaper, people are buying them, people are reading them, they're being sold, right? They're really circulating. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If something circulated, it will be sent out to many people. It was sent out to many people, right?
Okay.
So a lot of people have seen it, is what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then I forgot whose turn it was to read. Is it Auda's now?
Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh.
Perfect. Okay, would you mind to read all the way down to here, please?
Okay. At least one poet, Julia Gett, had tested positive for the coronavirus, also called COVID-19. Her contribution is titled, If Indeed I Am Ill, Brother."
Perfect. Okay.
The other poems in Southern Strangeness include The Patch from physician poets such as John Ockren's 2 Days in March, and Ami Mahmouda, an American nurse, foresee her death.
Good. Okay, and then Luis, would you mind to read from here?
Okay. The collection has a poem about grief and loneliness called Storm by Camila Aisha Moon. Joshua Bennett, that poem, it's a take on new parenthood during a time of social distances.
Good. Okay. And then I think it's Ari up next. Ari, would you mind to read?
Physical distancing means keeping at least 6 feet of space between yourself and other people. It is practice. It is practice to slow in spread or disease.
Good. Disease. Perfect. Okay, Rosalie, would you mind? Oops, not all that. Sorry. Would you mind to read all of this, Rosalie?
Okay. Writer Julia Alvarez uses the language of illness and disease to take a right and pointed look at the fate of an art form in her poem. How will the pandemic affect poetry? These lines from her poem explore her points.
Perfect. Okay. So these are the lines from her poem. Okay, Leonella, would you mind to read her poem?
Will poetry go viral? Will its disease infect us? Will it help build up antibodies against the indifference? Will poems be the only safe space where we can gather together?
Exactly, right? Okay, we have a little bit more that we need to read here. Oh, sorry, I keep moving this and don't know how to do it. But what I would like us to do is actually, since we only have 2 minutes left, I want to go ahead and talk about homework, okay? So your homework is gonna be a little different. What I want you guys to do, I'm gonna post these 4 sentences, these 4 lines from her poem, and I want you guys to write an analysis of this poem.
Okay.
Okay? Doesn't have to be very long, maybe like 100, 200 words, not very long at all, okay? But I want you to just think about this. What do these 4 lines mean, right? Like, what was she feeling? What does it mean to you? Does that sound like something that you guys will feel okay with?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, so that's gonna be homework. I will post this on the website, not a problem at all.
Okay.
And since this is, I think it's gonna take a lot for you guys to get done, this is gonna be your only homework. So only 1 homework for the weekend, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I only have about a minute left. So what I'm gonna talk to you guys about is our plan for next Tuesday, okay? So a lot of times when it cuts off at 40 minutes, other classes join back up and they talk for a little bit more. But because I record our lessons, I can't hop right back on. I have to wait maybe 5 to 10 minutes. So what we're gonna do is next class, we're gonna have kind of 2 sessions. We're gonna have 40 minutes, then we're gonna have a 15-minute break, and then we're gonna come back together for 40 more minutes, okay? So I'll post the details into WhatsApp, and that will include like actual times that you guys need to be on. But that's what the plan is for next week, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect.
All right. Sounds good. And class is going to end soon. I appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate you being patient with me being late.
Wear mask, everybody. Tomorrow is mandatory. Remember that.
Everybody wear your mask,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Does everyone have a mask?
I
Yeah.